It's hot.
Excellent.
Everything is
Delicious.
good?
Very good.
Okay. Woohoo. Hey, hi everyone. I'm Amy and I'm in my little kitchen. So tonight I am going to make stuffed pepper soup. It is kind of dreary and cold out here in the Northwest, and I was gonna make this other dish, but suddenly I'm like, you know what? I really want something a little bit warm and comforting. And basically to me, any kind of soup is warm and comforting. It's funny how in the colder months, because that's where I am, not that Florida, Arizona, and those areas, you know, get as cold. We always think of these casseroles. They're rich. They're delicious. They're so full of flavor. Or the soups, different variations of something that we love, like cheeseburger. We love cheeseburger in the summer. Why not make a cheeseburger soup? So I may come up with my version of that. So anyway, I am going to make stuffed pepper soup. For some reason, I have never been a fan of stuffed peppers, the actual stuffed pepper. But when I saw this and wanted to come up with my idea of a stuffed pepper soup, I thought, well, there's elements of stuffed pepper I really like. And there's some things, for some reason, I really don't like. So we're gonna try and see what happens here. So I've got ground beef cooking in this big soup pot over here. It's about a pound of ground beef. If you're serving more people, add just a little bit more of each of all the ingredients, or switch it up yourself, you know, you kind of make it your own. So what is kind of involved in stuffed peppers? Well, it's peppers. There's a little bit of rice. There's meat. There's definitely seasonings. Let's add a little hint of heat to it, whether it be crushed peppers, or if you want, just a little bit of that sriracha sauce. I like crushed peppers, but you know, to each his own. I've got some tomato sauce here, fire roasted tomatoes. We're gonna add in some beef broth, definitely some herb seasonings like oregano, thyme, rosemary, or just do the combo, Italian seasoning. I chopped up some onions because you should have seen my eyes about a half hour ago. Oh dear. And then I've got some garlic I need to chop up. I'm even going to add in a little bit of leeks. You don't have to do that. We normally probably don't put it in stuffed peppers, but for some reason I've got a lot of leeks in my fridge. So I only did a half of an onion here. If not, chop up one small whole onion and that will be plenty. But I'm really going to chop up the leeks here too. I'm even going to put in a little bit of celery in it because it's got a lot of tomatoes. I've got one red pepper. If you don't have a red pepper, do 2 green ones. So anyway, we're making stuffed pepper soup, so let's get going. Okay, my meat is done in the big saute pan. So now I'm just gonna cut up the garlic and the rest of these vegetables to be sauteed together. And then we can kind of combine all this stuff. But basically what I'm doing is, if you like stuffed peppers, what do you like in it? And just kind of turning that into a soup. Do not ask me why, but as I mentioned earlier, I don't particularly care for stuffed peppers. But I think a soup, I could like it. So that's what I'm doing. So you can find this recipe and all my other recipes over on my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys go check that out and sign up for that. That'd be great. Okay, so here's my garlic over here. Just gonna kind of scoot that over. I'm gonna do at least 1 celery. I'm not sure about 2. But because it has a lot of tomatoes in it and a little beef broth, I just thought celery would be good. And we'll just kind of cut those up in little pieces too. So I'm slicing it and then I'll just kind of do a rough chop. Then after that, we'll do our peppers. I'm gonna kind of come up with some casserole dishes here. Kind of into steak Diane beef stroganoff. I want to do a pumpkin curry dish over, like a sauce. I shouldn't say a dish, a sauce over chicken. I think that would be really good. And have it over rice. It seems to be I'm doing a lot of rice stuff right now. I don't know why that is. So we're just gonna kind of slice up this red pepper. I mean, unless it's beef stew or something like that, I really like to try and get chunks of the vegetables that you can get a little bit in each spoonful in one spoon. That way you get some of the flavors all mixed in together instead of tasting them individually. Well, Chris and I are getting ready to go on our honeymoon, which is kind of fun and exciting. Right, babe?
Right.
Maybe I'll go over there and get inspired with doing something with pineapple and some of their cooking. We'll see. I'm really hoping to try some local food, some local dishes. We'll see if that happens. But any day now, I'm going to be a grandmother again. I'm excited for that because Audrey's due. A month later, Isabel's due. So maybe I'll make this again and bring it on over to them. Because Jacob and Isabel may like this. They kind of don't do meat a lot. But maybe I'll just make a minestrone soup for them. Oh, that would be good. Because usually that's a vegetable soup. So we're just going to finish cutting this up. Like I said, if you don't want to use one red, one green, you can use a yellow and a green or two greens. But since we're doing stuffed pepper soup, you should have peppers in it. Okay, we're just going to scoop that on over because my pan is heated up. Like any soup, this is the longest part. After all this is done, you just combine everything and let it cook all together for just a little bit. Say about 30 minutes. And for rice, for this soup, because stuffed peppers require rice, or usually have rice, I am using brown rice instead of white. I think brown rice is a little bit heartier, a little bit chewier, so I'm hoping that will go well with this soup as well. Okay. Phew. We're going to cut up the leek and then we're going to head on over there. Or I should say, over to the stove. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, so I've got my onions and peppers and garlic chopped up. Here's the garlic. I'm gonna have a little, I'm gonna say probably I got a few more to chop up here. Could be a cup. So if you use half of a white onion or a sweet yellow onion, I would just do the other half with a leek. But if not, just use one onion and just cut it all up. So we're gonna head on over to the stove here because we're gonna saute these vegetables. Put in the tomato sauce, get those all mingling together. And then we're gonna add the beef broth, the herbs, add in the meat, and then we'll get it all kind of cooking together for about 20 minutes or more. And then we'll go ahead and add the rice, cook it another 20 minutes or more, and then we'll see if we need any more beef broth. So let's saute the vegetables first. I'm gonna bring you on over here. And I think my pan is hot enough, sorry. Just like the onions, the leeks make my eyes tear up. I'm gonna turn you just this way a little bit. I'm gonna go on over here. I'm gonna bring along this. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and add it all in. So I got peppers, celery, and onions. Kind of rainbow Christmas colors almost. I'm just gonna add in a little more olive oil here. Just a little bit of salt. I have my meat already cooked. Turn this up just a little bit. So this will probably take maybe about 5 minutes, 10 minutes to saute. And since I've got everything else cooked, and the tomato sauce and the fire roasted tomatoes all ready to go, we're just gonna wait till this gets a little bit tender, translucent a little bit. You don't want them too soft, but you definitely don't want them crunchy for a soup. So, there we go. I'm just gonna let that sit for a few minutes. I've got it on about medium-high heat. There you go. Sorry, people, that noise is me with the stool. So there we go. Okay, these vegetables, the peppers, the onions, and the celery, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the leeks. Maybe add in a little bit more olive oil. Gonna add in a little bit dash of salt and some pepper. Gonna go ahead and get the garlic. How many cloves? I think I had about 4 cloves of garlic. 2 of them were big, 2 of them were kind of like on the small, medium size. Right. Gotta love garlic, right? We're gonna go ahead and move the tomato sauce over here, along with the mushrooms. Get those sauteed up. I kind of forgot about them, really. I would have preferred them sauteed by themselves, but I think this will be okay, but well, frankly, I can't wait to taste this soup. Whoa. See, we got it going on in there. I wear those things because the handles get hot. Give those a few minutes. Let's see here. I'll grab the other tomatoes. I said I can't find my measuring spoons when I really want. We're gonna go ahead and add in some thyme. Half a teaspoon. I'm gonna go ahead and add a teaspoon of thyme. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of oregano. Because you definitely want some flavor in this. I do not know where my rosemary is. Isn't that funny? Where did rosemary go? And I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of Italian seasonings. We're going to see how that all mixes in. To tell you the truth, usually I would just shake it all, you know, together. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add in my tomato sauce. Now it's really about combining all of this. Here's a 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. Here's another can. Man, those are a little bigger. Mix that all up. I'm gonna wait to add any more salt and just see with the cans of tomatoes, because none of these are low sodium, so. Okay. Gonna go ahead and add, should I add the meat in? No. I'm gonna cook this for about 10 minutes just so the sauce has a chance to cook with all of the vegetables and the mushrooms. Then we'll go ahead and add in the meat and the broth. Let that cook for another about 10 minutes. Because what we're really doing here is layering the soup so that everything, once the rice gets in, all of these flavors have been able to combine with each other before the rice soaks it all in. So we're just gonna let this heat up here for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. I don't know if you can see what's in there. Here we go. So we've got the tomatoes, the mushroom, onions, garlic, peppers, and even the leeks. So we're just gonna let this sit for a minute. Okay, so we've got the tomato sauce and the fire roasted tomatoes cooking for a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in the 2 cups of beef broth. We're gonna go ahead and put in the 1 pound of ground beef. Now obviously, if you want this a little more meatier, go ahead and add in more meat. There we go. This is looking like a stuffed pepper in a soup. I love it. Yeah, there you go. I think with the cans of tomatoes that I added, I probably would have done 2 green peppers instead of 1 red and 1 green. But like I said, you can switch it up. Okay. Just gonna turn that down a little bit, and then we are gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 or more, to have it cook all together. Yeah. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes since we've been cooking this soup. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in the rice. So like I said, I have brown rice here that has been cooking. You can go ahead and use white. I mean, that's perfectly fine too. So we're just gonna add that in there, because rice is usually what you add when you're making stuffed peppers. Oh, look at this. So we're gonna let this cook for another 15 minutes or so. And then feel free to taste it. Maybe you add a little more seasonings to it. I went ahead and tasted it and added in a little more herbs. And as the rice absorbs some of this liquid, you might want to go ahead and add in a little more beef broth. So we're going to let this sit and cook for about another 15 minutes. Oh, delicious. Okay. I tell you, I think I got caught up on a TV show. That's why it's taken me this long. Chris is biting at the bit to want to eat.
I'm hungry, babe.
Did you hear that, guys? He's hungry. So look at this. I think this truly looks like a stuffed pepper soup. Like I said, I probably, with the fire roasted tomatoes and the tomato sauce, I probably would have just stuck or cut up 2 green peppers instead of 1 red and 1 green.
Seems like the only way I'm going to get a bite of this is if I join in.
But babe,
It's taking forever.
I know. Well, you know me. I got caught up on a TV.
It smells good.
Silly me. Okay, so we're gonna taste a little bit of this. A little juice here. And like I said, if you stick this in the fridge, the rice will absorb some of the liquid. So have some beef broth on hand just to kind of, you know, make it, create a little more juice. So I'm just sprinkling a little like mozzarella or whatever cheese you have on hand. A little parsley. It almost looks like pizza soup. In fact, you could make soup out of anything. So find this recipe over on my YouTube channel at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. I would love for you to look at this recipe and all the others and give it a try and subscribe. Can I have a little bite of yours too?
Let's do it.
I hope it's good. I hope it's seasoned enough. It's hot.
Excellent.
I think it's
Delicious.
good?
Very good.
Okay. Woohoo. I get the stamp of approval because he's my main guy.
It's very good.
Okay, good.
Lots of flavor, a lot of different flavors going on there.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
peppers add a lot. And it's not too salty because I wanted to temper that with the cans of tomatoes. So I think I'm going to get myself a bowl. So anyway, like I said, go over to my YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. But today, in this little kitchen of mine, we made stuffed pepper soup. So have a good evening. Enjoy.